How much more time do we have?
10 minutes.
Huh?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay,
We
so
have as long as you need, but nice us to leave it too.
10. Okay. All right.
Just because you
Thank you.
Okay.
We're just going to come to you for dinner. That's all.
Thank you.
All right. So we said chesed is identified also through the idea of, or maybe before that, I'll say. So chesed is silver, I started saying, and gevura is gold, or symbolized by. Okay. When I say is, I mean symbolized. So what does it mean? So chesed comes from the idea. So I'll start by saying silver in Hebrew is kesef, right? Kesef is also money, but kesef is silver. Gold, on the other hand, is zahav, okay? But the word kesef comes from the word kisufim, which is longing, which is another way to understand what chesed in our lives is. We shouldn't be doing chesed because we have to do chesed. We should be doing chesed like Hashem is doing chesed in the world. We should be longing to do chesed. It should make us feel good. It should pour out of us, right? It, yeah, for some people maybe yes, for some people less. I don't know, but this is something that we need to refine in us, right? I many times hear the sentence, "Why do I have to do them a favor?" Right? It's like and it also I think comes from a certain emotional place that we're in every moment in our lives. Sometimes I have more to give, and sometimes I have less to give, right? Not only on a financial level, on an emotional level. Sometimes I feel like my cup is allowing me to give more. And sometimes I feel I'm a little bit broken and I have a little bit less to give or a lot less to give, right? So, but basically I want to connect to that place. And that's another thing. Like we were talking about love and fall in love in our human relationships. But now I want to talk a little bit about my love and fall in love in my relation, to the divine, right? And this is why actually Netzach is in the same right line as Chesed. If you will look at the sefirot tree, Netzach goes down the line of, what does it mean? It means that I want to be, I'm basically praying, I'm basically longing that my ability and my desire to give, to be on the chesed side, should be continuous, should be regardless of the circumstances in my life, right? We always say, I bless you to be on the giving side, right? It's not just that I bless you to be on the giving side monetarily, financially, whatever, right? Technically. But I'm also we're blessing each other to be in that emotional state of mind that I'm connected to Hashem, that even when I have absolutely nothing in my life, I'm still in that place. Consciously, I'm still in that place, right? This is what it means. Eze washir asameach bechelko. Who is the rich guy? Is the one who is happy with what they have. Right? I want to be in that place consciously. That it doesn't matter what I have and what I don't have. I'm connected to Hashem on that realm. That I always have what to give. Maybe it's a kind word. Maybe it's a hug. Maybe it's a smile. But I'm in that place that I have what to give emotionally. So I want to be connected to Chesed. This is why, we all understand. This is what Rav Nachman says. Why do we identify kisufim with kesef, with money? Because we all identify with the idea that I always want to have more money, right? Nobody will say no to more money.
But then we're never satisfied.
Right? But I want to be connected to my spiritual longing to be on the giving side as I am connected to the idea of always wanting to have more money. That's the place I want to be in. This is how I want to be connected to Chesed. On an eternal level, on a Netzach level, on a continuous level. This is why Netzach is on the side of Chesed.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
So when you say that silver is connected to Chesed, okay, and Hasidim, which is very interesting, and gold, which is zahav, are they the opposite? So is silver then more precious than gold?
Yeah. So okay. So now I'll answer. It was like it was yeah. So it's good. You're bringing me right into what I want to talk. So so Hashem had created the world with Chesed and with Din, right? So now, what does it look like? A little bit to us, it appears that when there is Din in the world, yes, Zahav also symbolizes Din.
Deen is what?
Din is judgment. So it's not only symbolizing, right? So it's not only symbolizing Gevurah, which is usually identified in our intuitive manner of identifying it as maybe something negative or maybe something restraining or contracting, but it's also identified with judgment. And we also identify God's appearance in the world very much like we want the chesed to flow upon us continuously, right? But we also have to ask ourselves, so how much am I appearing in the world like I want God to appear in my world, right? Or how much am I appearing towards people with this judgment of I owe you something, or you owe me something, or do I owe the world something, or do I owe God something, or did God give me enough to give something, or like how much am I coming from a judgmental perspective to the world versus from that chesed place, like I want God to appear in my life. Like I want the reality to appear in my life. Please.
Just want you to go back for a second when you talked about like doing a favor. I think that there's a difference between doing a favor and you feel, oh well, like there's that. Do I have the energy? Do I have the time? Whatever. And something that just comes from your kishkas, that you're there. You give it's not even thinking.
Exactly.
Am
That's how I want to
available or can I
appear.
do it? Or you're
Right.
just there.
That's how I want to appear in the world.
You know?
Right. Now, but then you might come and say, but hey, Hashem appears in our lives also through Din and not just through Chesed, right? So we say basically the other side of it is understanding that what we see as Din is not necessarily judgment, right? When you come to, I specifically don't believe so much in punishments and parenting, but sometimes you have to be a little bit tougher with children, right? And they think no matter how gentle you were too tough, right? So, so it's like we basically treat our relationship with Hashem like a teenager, right?
Like we're the teenager?
Like we're the teenager, exactly. And we don't see how basically, like even take this year, which was an awful year, right? But the amount of miracles within this year and the amount of miracles within the tragedies itself that people are reporting from the Nova Festival or from the kibbutzim and Dotef, or it's like so amazing, right? It's just the idea that about 400 people that were tortured and massacred in the festival, were only about less than 10%, like something like 7 to 10% from the people who were there. The idea that it's really hard for us to understand and comprehend. They were planning to conquer all of Israel that day, or at least maybe 30 or 50% of Israel that day.
And the planet, the Galil also.
Right. If we didn't have that awful massacre as it did appear, as much as it's brutal to say, we all might have not have been here today.
And not only that, but when you talk about, aside from the miracles, look how it brought us together.
Right.
We were so fractured. I mean, Israel, people were against other people, Israelis. One
Right.
Israeli
Still are.
Still
pretty fractured.
But it's getting so much better. I mean, it's getting worse and better, but it's getting better.
And not only that, but we were there for each other. We
Right.
gave to each other.
Right.
With our open arms.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We're
Right.
still giving to each other.
Right.
with open arms.
And it doesn't matter religious or secular, everybody are talking about the rise of values, the death of values within the Israeli society and the rise of values within the Israeli society in due to what happened in this last year. Right now it's a little bit, fading out again,
I
unfortunately.
also had.
But
can I interrupt you?
yeah, please.
I also had a very strange thought. Sometimes my mind works like this. Not sometimes. I'm strange. Okay.
Me too. It's okay. We're in good company.
Well, I was thinking, we're here in this world to do mitzvot. And the reason that we're here in this world to do mitzvot is because this raises our neshama, it brings us to a higher madrega, right? And so madrega is a higher level.
Right.
So the truth of the matter is, once we've reached this perfection, people say when someone dies, oh, it's so sad, they were such a wonderful person, they did so much good for the world, etc. Well, Hashem takes you when you've done what you were here to do. So it wasn't, it sounds like it's a horrible thing that they died, but actually we believe they're going on to a better place. And the truth is, they've done their work here. Or they weren't doing their work here, and it was the opposite. They were going to do much worse. And
Another thing that I came.
Babies and children. Sorry, don't buy it.
there's also theories with respect to that too.
Yeah, please.
I just Jews, we talk about Chesed and Gvura, we look at the mantle of Jacob, we both of them combined. That's what Bnei Israel though. We're supposed to do that, combine these two and go forward.
Right. Right.
Balance.
Right.
That's the message of Lech Lecha, the parsha.
Right.
It was a gift given to Avraham and his family, and when Lech Lecha was given and the name was changed, he became the exemplar not for just his family and those around, but for the rest of the world.
Right.
Okay, and this is the object of who we as Jews are.
Right.
We're not only the messengers for ourselves, but if we convey the message honestly, then we're setting the example for the rest of the world.
Right. Right.
That's
Yeah.
Lech Lecha.
But I also want to add to Lindy to what you said is the idea that it says that the soul never wanted to come down into this world. We were basically forced to come down into this world.
I'm sorry,
And
I didn't get that.
It says that the soul
okay.
never wanted to come down into this world. We were basically forced to come here to do the work. And if we really believe, right, whenever a person goes up there, we're saying he's in a better place now, right?
Yeah.
Do we really believe it? I don't know. Somebody
That's very
believes it and somebody doesn't. It doesn't matter. I want to believe that it's true.
But we
I
also believe
do
in
feel-
Gilgul Neshamot, that Neshama will come down again.
Right. But in general, I don't know. I feel my neshama in this body is very tight, right? It's like I feel like my neshama wants to be, I don't know, somewhere out there, right? I'm also a strange person. So,
But when I was a kid, I used to dream that I was flying.
yeah, yeah, there are lots of stories like that. Yeah, I also felt it every night before I fell asleep. So it's like there is. I really believe. I still remember the very vivid feeling of my soul separate of my body in my young years. As we grow and we get into our da'at, we disconnect from the tree of life, and we less feel vividly the feeling of our soul, and we much more feel vividly the feeling of our bodies. And there we connect so much more to that place of like my body is in pain or my feelings are in pain, but we don't connect so much to my soul is in pain. And we need to learn to reconnect with that deeper place in us, which is Kabbalah calls Chaya and Yechidah, which are the deepest parts of us. We need to learn to reconnect with those places. And from those places, those babies, as awful as it was, all these holy martyrs who have given their lives for us to continue living here, like for sure, I'm positive that they're sitting in a better place. And as much as it's hard for us to contain the cruelty, the misery, the pain, the awfulness of what it is, from a neshama perspective, from a soul perspective, there's something so much bigger happening here. And we want to try to connect to that, to tap into that. That's how I feel.
So this is just not to wrap, but just to say one thing. It's been really great to have you come back. We've been wanting you to speak, and the centers being closed has changed things a little bit. So anybody who's here now who wants to come again, either next week or the week after, send me a message. We'll create a WhatsApp, and you can kind of bullet what you're going to talk about next time.
Okay,
But
good.
it'll be a week from now, and we'll
Okay.
decide exactly where.
Okay. So it's good.
So
You're
same
putting
time?
us in a
It'll
frame.
be the same.
So
time,
whoever
but
has any more
gonna
comments
we're
for
gonna move it
today
around
and-
to people's houses. Other
Yeah.
people will have a chance.
Okay.
Even if you want to do it again, it's fine. But just,
So I can
So
go on
in-
and on forever. So if
in-
anybody wants to wrap it up with some comments or questions or ideas,
Look.
please do it now. And
I just had a thought that when you were talking about, when you're a child, the soul is more free or whatever. But as you get older, you have responsibilities as an adult, family or whatever, in your life.
Right.
Not so you become more consumed with those
Physical needs.
physical
Earthly
needs
things.
and all of that. And it's, when you have it's like a luxury to be able to be consumed about your soul and your
Right.
connection to Hashem and all
Right.
of that. And
but the idea is not to be consumed with it. Yiddishkeit never tells us
No.
to be consumed with it.
That's
Yiddishkeit tells us how to
make room in your life for that too.
exactly to how to contain both of those realms in my
Right.
life. Yeah. Yeah.
Our challenge, therefore, is to educate ourselves and our children on what's really important. Okay.
Right.
How to connect to Hashem more so than what degree you have, where you are in life, where you live. It's to focus on a more positive role model.
Right. Aspirations.
And what we have over the last many years, I think most of us grew up in a philosophy that didn't put that first.
Right.
But what
Yeah.
first?
Put Hashem first.
We were brought up to pay more attention to our physical needs
Right.
than to our spiritual needs.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Right. Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very
No,
much,
Thank you.
everyone. I hope I didn't put you to sleep.
Thank you so much. This was really
No, we
nice.
could go on.